Hello everyone, welcome to my session. We are going to discuss about OcuSerts in ocular drug delivery system. Now, as it is a separate part mentioned in your syllabus, so it comes under ocular drug delivery systems only, but after giving this topic as a separate part in your AKtU syllabus, so now we will discuss in detail about OcuSerts, right. So, in our previous sessions, we have discussed about the basic consideration of ocular drug delivery system, the parts of eye, anatomy of eye, physiological barriers and different type of conventional as well as controlled or novel delivery system for eye. Now, this part also comes under novel drug delivery system. Now, we will discuss about the basic consideration of OcuSerts, their absorption part and their kinetics. So, without wasting much time, we will move on to next slide. So, here what are OcuSerts? It is also known as ocular insert. So, firstly developed by Elza Corporation USA in 1975. We are saying that these are the advancement, but if you see, the first control device of novel drug delivery system has been developed in 1975, back in 90s era, right, by the USA Elza Corporation. So, it is a flat, flexible, semi-solid devices which is inserted in the upper or lower cul-de-sac in the conjunctival sac also. This is the part we say cul-de-sac of the eye. These releases the drug at predetermined rate constant. So, you see this picture that the insert has different type of layers, right, which is transparent. This it mainly consists of a central drug reservoir, rate controlling membrane and outer membrane ring. So, basically this is the drug reservoir. The picture has shown the pilocarpine OcuSert, and this is the transparent and this is the annular ring and again the membrane. So, upper and lower membrane to fix the inner membranes of the OcuSert. So, now it is flat, flexible, solid, semi-solid devices which is inserted in the upper or lower cul-de-sac and releases the drug at predetermined rate through these membranes. It mainly consists of three components, that is a central drug reservoir, rate controlling membrane which controls the rate at predetermined rate, right, and outer annular ring. It is important part of these OcuSert and it provides the shape to the ring. Now, what are the objectives of developing these OcuSerts? Right, various objectives are there to develop OcuSert for controlled release, such as continuous controlled delivery of ophthalmic active drug to eye. Yes, it provides controlled release of drug, improved patient compliance. If it is placed once, then it may give effect or release of the drug for prolonged period, like for week, for months, right. Reduced dose frequency as compared to conventional one, better therapeutic outcomes by reduced over and under dosing, as the main objective to make OcuSerts, as it provides the controlled or predetermined rate release of drugs. So, dosing problems is not an issue with these type of OcuSerts. Lesser local side effect and toxicity, increased bioavailability by increased drug eye contact time. The drug retention is more with OcuSerts than better absorption. Now, what are the prerequisites for OcuSerts? So, there should be some aim and objective to develop some sort of preparation. Why we need to develop OcuSerts? What are the main prerequisites? What are the conditions to be followed while making these OcuSerts? So, before development, where various criteria needs to be considered, such as comfort. First of all, patient comfort should be there. If patient is not acceptable for all these type of dosage form, then what is the making, what is the use of these type of preparations? Because the ultimate target for making all these things are our consumers, patients, customers. So, if patient compliance is there, then only the result is good for making all these things, we can say. So, comfort, a properly designed ocular insert will minimize sensation caused by its insertion and wear, right. So, comfort is there if we use OcuSert, so not much discomfort can be seen in patients. Ease of handling and insertion, anybody can insert with ease. Lack of expulsion during wear, right. So, it is not easily expelled out from the eye if more tear fluid present in the eye. So, it is stick to the area well and expulsion rate is low. Reproducibility of release kinetics. So, prolonged release and sustained manner and controlled release, all these things are related to this point, that it can increase the release of drug for prolonged period. Applicability to a variety of drugs. Variety of drugs can be inserted, right, through these OcuSerts and can be given administered for ocular delivery. Non-interference with vision and oxygen permeability. No interference as it is putting into the cul-de-sac part. So, no such vision interference is there. Sterilized, it is a sterilized preparation and stable, and it is easily manufactured as it has been developed in 1975 only. So, since then variety of approaches have come to manufacture these OcuSerts. So, first after this introduction we will talk about classification of OcuSerts. Variety of OcuSert type OcuSerts are available based on their solubility behaviors and mechanism of actions, right. So, number one is insoluble ophthalmic OcuSerts. These are further subdivided into reservoir system and matrix system. So, reservoir system consists of diffusional inserts and osmotic inserts. As I have told you that this criteria is based on the solubility behavior and mechanism of action. So, solubility behavior represent the insoluble part, whereas diffusional, osmotic, matrix are the representation for your mechanism of action, right. And then the second category is soluble ophthalmic insert. So, it is based on natural polymers and synthetic or semi-synthetic polymers. Natural polymers like collagen shields we can say, and synthetic and semi-synthetic cellulose derivatives. Third one is bioerodible ophthalmic inserts or OcuSerts, right. So, bioerodible, that biologically they can degrade or erode within the eye. So, no need to remove after treatment. So, first we will discuss about insoluble OcuSerts. Now, you see in the picture that the drug and polymer OcuSert matrix type. See, so first we will have a discussion. Solid insert with non-erodible porous body releases the dispersed drug at controlled rate through the pores via diffusion into the tear fluid, right. Then solid insert with non-erodible porous body releases the dispersed drug at controlled rate. On insertion of ocular insert, the moisture of the tear penetrates the matrix, resulting in swelling followed by polymer chain relaxation and drug diffusion. Now, I will tell you, this is basic your Occusert design, which contains drug and polymer in a matrix. When upon placement on the in cul-de-sac, you see the swelling will occur due to the eye moisture, right, and after this the contact with tear fluid. So, it makes swelled state, and initially after swelling the drug is getting diffused, right, start to diffuse, and diffusion takes place at the high level after this contact time or prolonged time. So, you see degradation of polymer occur due to drug release. See, I will once again tell you that this is the matrix, intact matrix or Occusert containing drug and polymer, and after placing into cul-de-sac, the disc become or Occusert becomes swelled, which releases the drug through diffusion mechanism, and slowly it get degraded fully as the time passes. So, with the time it may degrade it. Now, it follows the Ficks law of diffusion. What is the mechanism? How you can represent it? The Ficks principle is the release rate J is derived by Ficks first law, that is J is equal to ADKCS divided by L, where A is the surface area of the membrane, K is the diffusion coefficient of the drug, how much drug is diffusing out through the Occusert, from the Occusert, membrane thickness, drug soluble in water, and D is diffusion coefficient of Occusert. So, this is the formula given by Ficks. So, it is known as Ficks law of diffusion. Osmotic Occusert, this is the again the insoluble part, osmotic Occusert, second type. During osmosis, the transverse impermeable elastic membrane of insert divides the interior of insert into two compartments, right. So, we will have the this picture here. So, first after during osmosis on the concentration gradient factor. So, transfer impermeable elastic membrane of insert divided the interior part of the insert into two compartments. First is it is bounded by semi permeable membrane and impermeable elastic membrane, and second part is bounded by impermeable and elastic membrane. So, impermeable wall of insert carries the drug release aperture, whereas on contact with tear fluid, water diffuses into the first compartment, as inner compartment of the insert is subdivided into two parts. So, first compartment upon contact with tear fluid, the water diffuses from the tear into the first compartment, that causes pressure development and osmotic pressure will get developed, right, onto the second compartment, forcing the drug movement towards aperture to drug release. That means, I will give you detail through this. You see here we have this type of Occusert, which is based on osmotic drug delivery. See, this is the aperture, now it is closed, as no osmotic pressure is present here. So, this is the drug and this is the layer, right, osmotic layers. This is the osmotic layer, this is the aperture orifice we can say, and this is the drug and polymer solution, right. So, red is drug, it is delivery aperture and osmotic layer. When upon placement, when it is in contact with tear fluid, then osmotic layer will get swelled and it makes the pressure onto the second compartment. This is first and this is second compartment basically. So, when the pressure develop, osmotic layer or osmotic pressure will get developed, this compact layer will get expanded like this, and it will create pressure to the second compartment, where the drug is enclosed with the polymer, right. So, after pressurizing the second compartment, the orifice will get opened now to facilitate the drug release to the eye surfaces. Now, you see due to that osmotic pressure, you can modulate and control the drug release. Once the osmotic pressure will get down, then the aperture will again close, and on building up the osmotic pressure, it will start the same procedure to release the drug from the device. This is impermeable membrane and this is semi permeable membrane. So, once the pressure is developing, then after that only the drug release will occur. Now, we will discuss about contact lenses. So, contact lenses, in last session also we had some basic information of Ocucerts and contact lenses, but now we will discuss it in detail here. A drug eluting contact lens is one of the promising platform for controllable ocular delivery. It can be used in general life. You see that many people are using contact lenses instead of spectacles, but it can be used for medication point of view as well, right. Covalently cross-linked hydrophilic hydrophobic polymer that form 3D network capable of retaining aqueous solution of drug, right. So, contact lenses are made up of covalently cross-linked hydrophilic or hydrophobic polymer which forms 3D network and have the capability of retaining drug within the network. Contact lenses are pre-soaked in drug solution prior to application. It is the mandate condition how you apply contact lenses, let it be medicated and non-medicated. You have to pre-soaked these contact lenses in the normal saline solution or your medicated solution of antibiotics or steroids. After that only you can place into the eye. Contact lenses restrict the drug from being lost to tear drainage by releasing the drug on the either side of the contact lenses, where it is ultimately diffuses into the eye. So, these restrict the drug from being lost, then the drug loss is very minimal through the drainage process, as it is stick or diffuses to the eye wall or the corneal membrane only. Now, here comes the second category of Ocucerts, that is soluble Ocucerts. So, soluble Ocucerts are completely soluble once placed at the application site, means these cannot be removed after the therapy or after the treatment. These completely soluble Ocucerts once placed at the application site cannot be removed, as it is solubilized during the therapy. These are pre-soaked in solution containing the drug. Already again the pre-soaked Ocucerts are placed to the eye region and rehydrated prior application to eye. So, this is the basic conditions to follow while applying soluble Ocucerts. Upon application, the tear fluid permeates into the insert and drug release takes place through diffusion and form gel layer around the core of the insert, right. Initially the insert is in intact form. Once it is placed into the eye, after contact with tear fluid, it gets swelled and form jelly consistency structure. So, from that consistency or that particular layer formed in gel, so the drug is diffuses out slowly to the application site. Now, third one is soluble Ocucerts. Now, we will discuss about the third type, bioerodible type. Bioerodible type of Ocucerts basically are matrix of homogeneous dispersion of a drug coated with hydrophobic material which is impermeable to the drug, right. You see this picture, these are the matrix of homogeneous dispersion of drug coated with hydrophobic material, right. The polymer type is hydrophobic, which is impermeable to drug. Example are polyacrylic acid, carboxymethyl, cellulose, hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, etc. So, variety types of bioerodible Ocucerts available in the market, like Sodi, Lacrisert, mini discs. So, these are some available preparations based on bioerodible type. So, you see the picture where it is shown that bioerodible polymer drug, it is the Ocucert where the drug is kept inside the shell, and this is the bioerodible polymer coating layer, right. So, once it is applied to the eye, so pH and due to pH and enzymatic effect or hydrolysis, the drug is start getting diffuse out from the Ocucert in the slow manner, and the mechanism of drug release is here erosion. That means, some initially some small pores or channels start forming, and after that as the time passes, all the drug is burst out of the shell. So, this is basically erosion concept in bioerodible type. Now, what are the advantages of making these Ocucerts? So, Ocucert again, dosing issues were there with conventional dosage form. So, for for reducing dosing frequency, it facilitates patient compliance, right. It offers enhanced absorption and bioavailability due to high ocular contact time. Dose accuracy is there, at it releases the drug at predetermined rate. Dose consistency is there, as it supply the drug in consistent manner to provide better efficacy. Decrease systemic side effect and adverse events, right. So, if we get localized effect, then the drug will show its effect in the eye region in maximum proportion, as it the contact time is more. So, it will show the effect in the eye region where it is getting targeted. Improved shelf life as compared to other aqueous solution due to low moisture content, right. The shelf life, the stability of these Ocucerts are more as compared to the other formulations. Reproducibility of release kinetics. Yes, we can get controlled and predetermined release of the drug at in sustained or extended manner. So, the release kinetics is of important concern here. So, now as they have variety of advantages, so on the other side they have disadvantages too. What are those? Just have a look. Insertion technique is difficult, though we are saying that Ocucerts can be placed in the cul-de-sac, but sometimes in some patients it has been observed that patient is incapable of placing this in cul-de-sac properly. So, expansion possibilities are there, that it may expelled out from the cul-de-sac during wear and tear of the eye, right. So, insertion technique is difficult. So, in that cases some sort of expertise required. So, not fit individually for each patient. So, it is not prescribed for every patient, as it is preferred or prescribed in special type of conditions, right. Inflammation, and already the skin of surface, outer surface is not very smooth, already some disease condition is there, which degraded the quality of eye at that time. So, it is not preferable, already inflammation is there in the eye, and if you put some sort of solid or semi solid device into the eye, then it may cause more discomfort to the patient. Shields are not fully transparent and thus hinder visual activity, though it is mentioned that it is put in the cul-de-sac part, but some sort of contact lenses, right, and collagen shields interferes with the vision and results in the blurry vision. So, next is foreign body like sensation is felt at all the time. So, if you put something inside the eye which is not a part of eye naturally, so you may also always feel that you have some sort of foreign particle, or you may have some sort of feeling that you are having something inside the eye which is causing irritation into the eye. So, this type of feeling generally patient may have, and these inserts or these preparations are quietly expensive when compared with the conventional and other dosage forms. So, though it has variety of advantages, but due to these things, these use of these preparations, advanced preparations limits by the patient, as patient acceptability is less. Now, these are the references from where I have taken this data. Now, I will at the end of this session, I would like to highlight the main points of the preparation. Like we will have we had discussion about the various objectives of making these OcuSerts, the basic introduction, how OcuSerts look like, and what are the need of making these OcuSerts, as it has dosing accuracy. The superficially I had told you that it has accuracy, better patient compliance, dose frequency, and better therapeutic effect and less side effects. And what are the prerequisites, like ease of handling, insertion, less expulsion rates during wear and tear of eye, sterility, stability. So, these are the various prerequisite or criteria for making OcuSerts. Now, next the OcuSerts may be of variety types. First is insoluble, second is soluble, and third is bioerodible ophthalmic inserts. So, on the basis of solubility behaviors and mechanism of action, these are divided. So, insoluble inserts may have that different time, it may have diffusion, degradation, and diffusion release mechanism and osmotic type of release mechanism of osmotic pressure approach in inserts. So, namely as osmotic OcuSerts, in which the release mechanism is represented. Now, the next is contact lenses, which is widely used for non-medicated purpose as well, but it can be used or prescribed for medicated purpose, but the condition is they are pre-soaked in the solution for making before applying to the eye, right. Then after this, soluble OcuSerts are there. Soluble OcuSerts are completely solubilized during the therapy, and they need not to be removed after treatment. And this is the bioerodible type. These are the advancement like research in SODI mini discs, right. These are biologically erodible within the system during the therapy. These are the advantages, like they have better patient compliance, modified release kinetics or profile of drug, better shelf life due to less access to aqueous solutions, and reduced dose frequencies, and facilitates patient compliance. And disadvantages are expensive, occasional loss may occur, and expertise is required or some sort of assistance is required to place these into the eye, so that the proper placement can be achieved. So, these are the things which we have discussed in detail in this session. I hope you understand this very well, and we will be continuing with this for evaluation part of these ocular drug delivery system in upcoming sessions, and till then stay safe and take care. Thank you.